Hey guys, it's Amy with 804 Sycamore, and I got this vintage Hutch to chalk paint. I'm pretty excited about it. It's my first chalk paint project. I've kind of always shied away from chalk paint or, redoing furniture because of all the sanding and prep. But with chalk paint, as you know, there's rarely sanding required as long as your piece is smooth. So right now I'm just taking out the glass and those really cool decorative inserts, which are like a wood type thing. And once you prep your piece, remove drawers, shelves, hardware, then you can go ahead and clean it. And I just used water with a little drop of Dawn dish soap, not even enough to see it, but that kind of helps cut out any grease and fingerprints that you might have. So give your piece a really good scrub and make sure it's dry before you start the process. Okay, so after your piece is clean, you can tape off any parts you don't want to get paint on. I decided to leave some of the Hutch, its natural dark wood color. I thought that might be kind of a nice contrast, and it is a really pretty shade of wood. So I left some an area at the top. I washed the detail in the windows, and then there's a piece at the very bottom. So I kind of tried to balance out the spots that I left. I didn't tape out the hinges. I just carefully painted around them, and I did not paint the inside of this. So that's totally up to you. The inside was in pretty good shape, so I just decided let's keep it. And someday I may wallpaper that back side you see there, and wallpaper the drawer right there. But for now, I just wanted to get it painted and refurbished. Okay, so the chalk paint that I decided to use is by Behr. It's Behr decorative chalk paint, and the color is called Onyx Gray. Now, it's interesting because it looks pretty gray in the can. The little dot on the top of the can that was dry, it looked really gray. But for some reason, it turned out a little more blue on my Hutch, but I was not disappointed because I was originally thinking kind of a navy gray. So I was pleasantly surprised. So when you pour your paint into a tray, I would suggest don't pour too much. It's thicker, and I feel like it kind of dries pretty fast. So I work in small batches. I poured about a cup of paint in my little dish, and that seemed, I only refilled it a few times. So it actually goes a really long ways, which was awesome. And when you're working with chalk paint, if you don't know this, you want to go ahead and add some water to it. I did about 4 sprays to my cup of paint, and I just mix it really thoroughly. This helps it to go on nice and smooth. It thins it out a little bit so that it doesn't get so globby on. It really helps. I'm not sure what it would have been like if I wouldn't have thinned it, but I read that you should, so I did. Okay, so I'm working small sections, and I'm not loading the brush too much. I'm just really trying to keep it on the tip of the brush, and I'm using a 2-inch synthetic brush. It's not the cheapest, but it's definitely not the most expensive. But I liked it because it can get in all the grooves and details of this piece. It would have been nice to be able to roll it, but when you have vintage pieces, a lot of times you have that beautiful character and detail that you wouldn't get with a more modern piece. So a synthetic brush was what I used, and it worked really well. Now for the first coat, I'm trying to get as good a coverage as I can, but I'm not looking for perfection. My goal really is to just get an even layer over all of it. And you can see I'm just carefully going around the hinges, and it worked out perfectly. And I'm horrible at painting, so if I can do this with a little 2-inch brush, anybody can do it. Once your first coat is completely dry, then you can go ahead and apply a second coat. And you don't want to do it too thick. Don't paint over the same area too much. Just make sure you have nice smooth brush strokes, and you're set. So once you have your 2 coats on, then you can go ahead and use a sanding sponge. And what I'm doing is I'm roughing it up so that it kind of, what it does is it smooths out the brush strokes, any little pieces of lint or anything that got on there. It's just creating a nice smooth surface. And it looks like I'm scraping hard, but I'm not removing any paint at this point. I'm just trying to get it all smooth and level. I was really impressed with the coverage that I got with my 2 coats. And then after you sand it nice and smooth, I just took a slightly damp old washcloth and just wiped off all the dust, and then let it dry, because it's not dripping wet, it's just a little bit damp. So after all my flat surfaces are sanded, that's when I go and do the fun part. This was really satisfying to me. I wanted to add some age to it. I wanted that kind of antique vintage look. And so the great thing about the 220 grit sanding sponge is that it's foam, and so it's flexible. I could get in those grooves on the edge. I could wrap it around the corners. It just was very comfortable and easy to work with. However, 2 layers of chalk paint, it does start to gum up the sponge, and so you'll have to turn it and use all the different edges. I actually used 2 sponges for this whole piece because I really worked at those edges. I wore them down, I sanded them, and it turned out beautifully. And sometimes it went all the way through the wood finish, but that was okay with me because I like the look of the lighter and the darker wood showing through. But again, it will gum up your sponge, and so just have that in mind going in. And then once you're done, you're going to want to go ahead and just wipe it again with a damp washcloth to clean off all the dust for the next step. So this part was so satisfying, you guys. You know, you like watching those videos, but doing it in person is even better. The chalk paint is a little thick, and so I did have to work at some of those edges, but the tape worked perfectly, and I got all my lines nice and straight. So highly recommend blue tape if you want to block off spots. So using something to finish your piece is optional. Chalk paint can wear off, and so that's why a lot of people like to do a wax finish or even like a matte polyurethane. I think polyurethane would be great for like a highly used surface area, like a table, an end table, something like that. But this piece, people aren't going to be touching it a bunch, and I love the look of the dark wax. It just puts this really beautiful luster on it, and I'm using a wax brush, and as you can see, it looks like it's going on a little bit wet, and that's how you know where you have applied it and where you haven't. And when this wax gets in the grooves, it just really adds dimension and beauty. I absolutely loved it. It took a few days till I felt like it was like totally set and cured, but after that it felt silky smooth to the touch. Absolutely loved it. So now I'm going in with my antique gold rub and buff, and I'm adding a little bit of detail to this Art Deco detail in the piece. I didn't want it too strong, and so I took just a little tissue to wipe off any excess that ran over, but you can use your finger. I'm using a thin little brush because I'm really wanting to get it in this groove, but I don't want it to be too pronounced. I didn't want it to look like a solid gold line or something like that. So that's the great thing about the rub and buff, is it just goes on really naturally, kind of flaky, like it's like a paste. But once it's on, I don't think I could have gotten it off. So keep that in mind if you decide to use rub and buff for your piece. I also decided to use the rub and buff for the existing hardware. It's the original hardware, and again, it's not getting a ton of use, but the rub and buff, after it's dry, it does stay on really well. And so I used my finger and I used a brush to also get into some of those detail areas, and it just turned out to be a really beautiful gold finish for all the hardware, the knobs and the pulls. So applying putting the hardware back on was a little bit tricky because those ovals, they kind of slide a bit. So I would recommend making sure it's perfectly straight before you tighten it, because the wax and the chalk paint, they both can be pushed into and indented. So be careful with that. So here's the finished piece. I don't have the doors back in, but you can see all of my painting, all my finish work, hardware, it's all done, and I absolutely love the way it looks. For these decorative inserts, I really had to scrub both sides. They were pretty grungy, but then I just put them back the way I found them. And there's these little trim pieces with tiny little nails. I just put them back in their original holes because it's a little bit tricky, hammering around glass. So if you have something like this, I wouldn't recommend creating your own spots. Just use what was already in the piece. If you need a little more reinforcement, you could use wood glue or something, or maybe little brackets to make sure it stays in there. But I got a really nice secure finish using the existing nails. And again, it's not a piece that's going to be open and shut all the time, so I'm not worried about the vintage nails in there. So that is it, you guys. This is my finished piece. You can see a little before and after side by side. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to head over to my blog and subscribe. I'd love to keep you updated on my weekly projects. Thanks so much.